By the phone waiting for a call.
There he goes. Okay, I got it.
It could well be that this is the moment. Hello everybody, welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. This is our monthly, excuse me. It's a weekly show, but every month we have a show up here at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. And live and on stage. So if you're out there in the world and you want to see this show and you're not too far from Uptown Bill's, corner of South the Duke Streets and Lafayette Streets in Iowa City, down by the railroad tracks, I say come on down and join in. So anyway, this is my show about guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. People ask me what's it about, and I say it's about an hour. But anyway, so I know there's a guy over here who's ready to go on. So hey, Mason Wang, you
Sure.
come on over here. Let's still get that mic kind of in front of your guitar. You know what you're doing, right? You know how to use a microphone. Okay. Let's play a couple notes. Make sure it sounds good. Just play a chord or something. I don't care. Everybody hear that? Okay. That sound good? Strum it again. Coming out. All right. Listen, you're on your own. All right. So it's Blowing in the Wind by Bob Dylan. And that's your own arrangement of it. Right.
Yeah, I did the Peter, Paul, and Mary version.
Yeah, you did a Peter, Paul, and Mary kind of, yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, you did your version based on Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, what else do you have for us here? Okay. I believe that was Sunny by Bobby Hebb. Your own arrangement, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
You might have had a little help, but not much, right?
not much, yeah.
Not much. Sorry. You are in 8th grade, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. 8th grade guitarist. Why, when I was a boy, I was an 8th grade guitarist. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. It's not about me, it's about you. What else you have?
oh, I did a Beatles song.
Beatles, okay. The Beatles. I knew that. Okay. Well, you know, this is on TV now, and it'll be on TV again at least a couple of times, and it'll be on YouTube like tomorrow. And if you want, you can get a DVD like tomorrow or something. You have to fill out a requisition. So now you're famous. What do you think?
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I should have told you beforehand. Well, you're on television right now. See, there's a camera. Look, there's a guy standing behind the camera, and you're being cablecast live on Channel 18, PATV, so, on the web. And if you want a DVD, you can relive the excitement of it over and over again. But anyway, thanks for coming up. So, you got to go swimming now or something?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, you have fun then. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, Mason. Okay, Mason Wang. Okay, very good. Pleasure to have you. Pardon me while I drink on the job. So, anyway. Well, that's fun. Tutti frutti. Yeah, so usually about this time, Bob gets up and gives us some words of enlightenment. Things like, banjo player jokes, I mean, banjo player jokes, like, define triple X. 3 banjo players co-signing a loan. Yeah, I don't know. What do you say to a banjo player in a 3-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise? Anyway. Something that's never been heard. That's the banjo player's Rolls Royce. How many banjo players does it take to screw in a light bulb? 4. One to actually screw it in and 3 more to stand around saying, that ain't the way Earl did it. Earl Scruggs, It's all about Earl. This, a little bit less of this. So I was feeling a little down, and there are all kinds of things you can do wrong when you feel a little down, misbehave. So what I do is I go to a guitar shop, and they let me pay things off slowly, so I'm not beholden to the Musicians Pro Shop again. But this is it's brand new. I got this yesterday. It's kind of embarrassing. 2 weeks ago, I got an Epiphone, another copy of this. It's a Gibson ES 335 copy. That one is red and slightly larger here, but it's the same thing. But they sound different. They are different. So I'm getting to know this one. It just kind of makes me happy. It makes me think spring. Thanks. I don't know, I got another guy out there. I might bring him up here and put him out of his misery. And get a little guitar here. Thinking about getting I like Stratocasters. But you knew that about me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know you got the yellow ones, but my lesson was like the day after you got the red one.
Red Strat. No, I've had that red Strat.
I mean the red Epiphone.
Oh yeah, red up. Yeah. I've got terrible guitar tones, you know. In my defense, so I'd say that if I should, if I drop dead, my widow can just hang price tags on all the guitars. So, if I were you, I'd get it in between, not the, like either this or this. But to get the hum out of there, there's a hummy. You can see that light up there, that big TV light. We're talking, it hums. You know. You can crank it up a little bit more if you want. You need yeah, don't be shy. Okay, I don't know if I know what I'm doing here, but I'll just,
I don't know. For like Tarantula loops, you can just repeat it until
okay.
don't really need to sing.
You want to play a solo on this, or what's going to happen?
For all my Tarantula loops or for Layla?
For my guitar's only weeks. What's that?
No, you can.
All
I
right.
practiced solo for it, so.
I seem to be having a. All right, so okay. My guitar gently weeps.
Doing that for
George Harrison. Sure, let's say this. What's what is? Let's do it, man. Rock on, rock on, rock. Okay, let's go for it. You end just go. Ah. That's very good. That's very good. I like that. That's very good. So you're doing it yourself, pretty much. Can you play like an ordinary prosaic chord, like a G or something? Yeah. Okay. Well, give me an A note. Give me an A. I've said it once. I've said it several dozen times in this show. Anything worth playing is worth playing in tune. The other thing I've experienced many times, I used to play in bars, and I'd tell a joke through the microphone, and there'd be silence, except one guy in the back would start laughing hysterically, because he was the one who got it, you see. And they didn't necessarily hire me back that often sometimes, so. That's close enough for jazz. So, yeah, let's play something else. What are you ready for?
Layla.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Which we also don't have anything planned for, but
For the ending?
yeah, or how to end it.
Just like ba-da-da-pow, or whatever you feel like, man. Just be cool. That's the thing. A lot of people, the rockers, they didn't know what they were doing. None of them knew what they were doing. Well, maybe some of them did. Like Frank Zappa knew what he was doing. And Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull knew what he was doing. But pretty much the rest of them, derelicts. So a guy like you, shouldn't have too much trouble just fitting in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay, keep going. Yeah, all right, that's great. I like that song. See, like when I was a kid, he's an 8th grader too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick
Yeah.
Pryor,
Anthem of my freshman year in college.
anthem of your freshman year in college. That's great. Okay. Well,
First time I went to college.
all the times I went to college, never mind. No, when I was a kid though, that was on the jukebox at WC's Spaghetti and Pizza House, which is that's a place we used to hang around when we were teenagers. You know, you'd sit there and eat spaghetti, and which wasn't very expensive. And greasy meat sauce, which is mainly what I'm today. Hypertensive. Thick in the middle, thin on top. But anyway, no, it was sorry. But yeah, I always thought that was really exciting. That how did he get so high? I didn't realize that it was using a slide. It was what's his name?
Clapton?
No, it wasn't Clapton. It was the other.
Winwood?
No, it was American guy, Allman brother, Dwayne Allman. Yeah, he had a slide, and he was going way up there. You know, he was using the probably a Stratocaster with the bridge pickup, so he was like way up. Like way up high. And I thought, wow, man, my guitar doesn't have frets up there. How's that possible? Of course, my guitar was a classical guitar, and I was playing. So anyway, I thought it was just pretty cool. And then I like some rock and roll. I was pretty snobby, but so we've reached this point. Joe. Would you like to read something? You could sit here next to me, or you could go over there at the podium, which is this microphone right here. That's a microphone and music stand and podium, or you could sit right next to me and that's holding your lap. I don't know, man.
Sitting would actually be great.
Sitting would be great. Why don't you sit here next to me? And this chair, we'll just bend this mic up so it's like in front of your face, and then as I say, you can have your dulcet tones. Oh, that's good. Sorry, I have a little sinking feeling here, and. Well, that's the sound man. The sound man has an apron on. That's shows you what kind of operation we're playing at here. So
He's got that meat sauce that you come to loathe.
yes.
Oops.
Yeah. So yeah, you got the. Well, you can tell us what you have. Right, but as soon as almost.
I've got a book of letters to and from Groucho Marx, which I was reading in the Hamburg Inn #2 a couple of weeks ago after I'd had a growth taken off my ear, and sitting 2 tables away from me was Tom and his lovely wife, and I was laughing my head off. And you want to tell the rest of the story?
Well, that's about the story, except they were playing some interesting music that was kind of hard to. It was kind of hard to eat while you were hearing this stuff, but yeah. Then I asked
Made me
you.
laugh. Okay.
I asked you to come on the show and read some letters from. I've been wanting somebody to read letters from Groucho Marx on this show for about 2 years now.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, wow.
so I'm leaving it all up to you.
I've got Groucho's oldest brother, Chico, had a gambling problem, and but he writes him in 1942, Dear Chico, my favorite picture producer was at our house for dinner the other night, and each year he eats progressively louder. The sucking of chicken bones and corn on the cob, a terrible mistake I now realize, could be heard for miles around. Many people thought it was an air raid and began drawing the blackout curtains and dousing the lights. We then proceeded at his insistent behest to the loggias of the Pantiges Theater, where he snored through 2 of the longest talking pictures since the beginning of the talkies. Tune in again next week for another thrilling chapter of The Little Fat Man with the Sucking Cavities. In the meanwhile, always examine the dice. Love, Groucho.
Yes, that's good. That's good. I like that. How about another one? You've come this
okay.
far.
Sure. This is a letter to Arthur Sheikman. He's talking about the World Series, I believe, 1940. And he says, Dear Art, I'm very happy about the World Series. I won $2 from Miriam, that's Groucho's older daughter, or in other words, 2 weeks' allowance. Miriam's allowance is becoming my chief source of income, and when she grows up and flies away from home, as they say, I don't know what I'll do for spending money.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
Here's another letter to him. He said, I had an offer from the New York Opera Company to appear in an Offenbach play called La Vie Parisienne, and the book was just about as good as the title. It had a very novel idea in it. It was all about a rich American who goes to Paris. Well, you wouldn't want anything better than that, would you? Oh, yes. He also gets mixed up with a French girl. The second act is a race between the number of horses, and although I'm supposed to lose, my horse wins and the girl turns out to be extremely wealthy in her own right and not really an adventurous at all. It's a little hazy, but in the last act, I believe the girl marries the horse and she becomes the most popular broodmare in Antibes. I don't think I'll do this play unless they give me the horse's part.
That's pretty good.
More? You're
One
really
more.
a glutton for punishment.
One more, please.
Okay, this is to his son Arthur. Glad to hear from you and know that you are recovering. I am also pleased to learn that you have a rich dame who wants to put you up while you are recuperating. Arthur played tennis professionally and he was injured. How does she have her money? Is it in jewels or securities or just plain gold? Some night when you're grappling with her in the moonlight, you might find out. Do it discreetly, for God's sake. Don't come out bluntly and say, how much dough have you got? That wouldn't be the Marxian way. Use finesse. Well, I'll leave the whole things to you. Love, Dad.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I think we can learn a lot about writing letters. Now it's all about texting and, you know.
LOL.
Yeah, will. You want another one?
Well, just one more. I know it's got to end sometime, but I'm kind of enjoying myself here, and when we're done with this, we're stuck with me playing guitar. Of course, Mr. Skopinski might read a poem, or young Tom could come up and tell us something. Interesting. Yeah, well, about one more.
Okay, here's another letter to Arthur. Do you really have to wait until, this is during World War II, and Arthur's joined the Navy. Do you really have to wait until the Admiral gives you permission to leave? Why don't you just walk up to him as they do in the movies and say, look here, old boy, who's running this show? When I say I want to fly down to Beverly Hills for a few days, that's exactly what I mean. Don't let old Mutton Chop start pushing you around so early in the war. Once you let those captains and admirals get the upper hand, there's no holding them back.
Yeah. Sage advice. That's very good. Well, perhaps you can come back and do it again.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Well, very good. Joe, Joe Brisbane with the Brisbane or Brisbane?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. That's what I know.
Yeah, it's like the city in Australia, only the Irish can't spell.
Okay, I get you. Okay. Joe Brisbane with some missives from Groucho Marx. So. Hang on, I'm just going to do something. I don't want that one. I want this one. I gotta turn it down. So my amp has a lot of modeling on it, so it could sound like a Tweed or a black-faced Fender or an English amp or something like that. That's what they do now. It's a little chip in there. It doesn't really sound like it, but it sounds different. See? And I can make a beautiful sound if I bring an old-fashioned amp and then a bunch of pedals and stuff. But that would be more to set up. So this is like, you have to twiddle it out just right. Thank you. So that was Since I Fell for You by Buddy Johnson, 1948 maybe? I might be wrong. It might be 1947, but it's one or the other. I suppose I could have an iPad and look it up. But, does it really matter that much? Anyway, so does anybody want to come up here and read something? Young Tom or Mr. Skopinski, sir?
I do,
You want to read something?
yeah.
What do you want to read, just out of curiosity?
Just a couple of paragraphs out of my writing. It's from a book that I'm putting on the web.
Well, okay. I don't know yet, so it's clean and everything, isn't it?
I read here before.
Okay, but not on this show.
No, I know.
Okay.
I understand.
All I can say is I always say keep it clean. It's a family show.
Yeah.
You know any Groucho Marx songs?
You know,
Good old Captain Spaulding or Lydia the Tattooed Lady?
yeah, and Lydia the Tattooed Lady and
Lydia, yeah, Lydia the Tattoo.
Lydia, oh Lydia, have you seen Lydia? Lydia the Tattooed Lady. Yeah.
She has eyes that focus a torso, and a torso even more so.
Yeah. And he had some great songs. He was a guitar player too, you know, Groucho.
I didn't know
Yeah, he's a guitar player. He had a Gibson L5. And there's one where he's in a rowboat. And all the Marx Brothers are singing to women about love or something like that. And he's singing in a rowboat. I think the woman's rowing actually, and he's strumming away on a beautiful Gibson L5, I think a black one. But then he gets fed up and he throws it in the water. But when he throws it in the water, you can see it's a dreadnought.
Ah,
Since we're talking about the Marx Brothers, our colleague Phil Phillips, who's on hiatus right now,
Uh-huh.
he's from the Columbus Junction area, and he was telling me one night about how he had heard that the Marx Brothers were en route to, I guess, from Chicago to LA or something, and he hung out at the Columbus Junction train station and saw them get off the train and stretch their legs and stuff.
To change trains, I think they switched from one train to another.
Was that what they did at
Yeah.
Columbus Junction? Okay, yeah, very good.
They looked like ordinary people because they weren't done up like the
Oh, so
Marx Brothers.
he's told you that story?
Yeah,
yeah.
More than once. That's what it is.
Great,
It's
yeah,
a great
well, it's
story.
a feather in his cap, yeah.
Like when he was, a mere pup, I think, in boyhood.
Boyhood, yeah.
Minutes. If you want to read something, I suggest you read it forthwith. And we have 12 minutes left, and they have to. This is television. Then I have to continue on.
Thank you. A lie I'm breaking right in, and you won't understand it, I know, until you read the whole book of this. But it changes colors, which is sort of just whimsical, from black in this case to blue, which I thought of as more brainy maybe. A lie to you if you're destined to lose end in a croak or a pun, and that I would have to say the play of you upon your screen screaming memes is as to say of incredible, commendable. But do you think you even think you think? I know you don't, but mostly merely parrot what you've been told to think. Well, try this, telling me what it was about King David of old. God so admired, he said David was a man after his own heart. Perhaps not David's arranging Uriah's demise, lest he discovered David had knocked up his wife, but for that David was a natural philanderer, and sensibly, presumably, effed the never-loving supercilious brains out of Bathsheba, so beautiful naked.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, very good.
Thank you very much.
Family show. Do you have a poem, or would you have something to say? We have young Tom. Why don't you come up? We'll have to. You appear to be prepared. I don't want to. I don't want to give you a victim complex, or interfere with one if that's what your goal is to have. So.
Well, I'm glad that I get to be on. Did you notice, and we're always delighted that you come, did you notice there are these toys all over here? We've got, there's a little Etch-a-Sketch and a Mr. Potato Head and other things. So if you come down to the coffee house, you can play with
I've
these.
never actually done anything with a Mr. Potato Head. I was aware of them. I believe that they use real potatoes.
Yes,
Yeah, I
originally
think-
real potatoes, you just got the little plastic pieces to
Yeah.
poke in.
I think somebody had one, and I didn't get to play with it or something when I was a little kid. But I didn't care that much, and I don't know. So I guess I could come here and play with a potato head, but
Sure, anytime.
or I could stay home and read a book.
You're not limited to Tuesday nights once a month. You can come other times.
I could hang out, man.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk to you about the groundhog.
Okay.
I think we should dump him, but not for the reason you're thinking. I think we should dump him because he's not local, lives in Pennsylvania, and that's not a very relevant forecast. We always have 6 more weeks of winter after February 2nd.
Yeah.
That's no revelation. And when he says there won't be, he's just plain wrong.
Okay.
I was thinking we have alternatives. Prairie dog or gopher. Now I want to suggest that the gopher be the one. First of all, he lives here. And the second thing, Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz, also wrote a story about a gopher. The gopher's name was Zikky. And
Zikky?
Zikky, Z-I-K-K-Y. And the
Okay.
story is called The Discontented Gopher. He wanted to create an American fairy tale. So it had been long out of print, but it's just been republished again by the South Dakota Historical Society Press. Plot's similar to a lot of fairy tales. Zikky thinks he knows everything, makes a decision which gets him into trouble, and eventually learns his lesson. Very appealing gopher in the story. And I think he'd make a great model for a weather gopher. I imagine there'd be a pageant. We could have it right outside here, which involved Zikky and his forecast for spring. So I was thinking maybe our viewers could help us come up with an alternative to, to Phil. We could have Zikky,
Puxatawny Phil.
yeah.
Not
could-
Phil Phillips, who works in the show. Yeah, yeah.
Right, so that Zikky could come out or come up or drop down, maybe out of a balloon or a blimp or something.
That's good.
Or you wouldn't have to come out, you could just step out and reassure us that there will be 6 more weeks of winter.
I just
Yeah, well, we already know.
Yeah, we already know. Yeah, okay. That's probably a good idea. I do.
The thing we really need to know each year is it going to snow in April? And that's where Zikky could, carve out a path.
I see. Yeah, because I think we've had more than 6 weeks of winter since Groundhog Day, but by now,
Yeah, including today.
including today.
Huh?
Actually, there is a groundhog who lives in Iowa City, and he comes out and if he sees a shadow, that means the Hawkeyes are going to have 6 more weeks of bad basketball.
Okay, all right. I hope they heard that at home. I have at least one groundhog lives kind of between the fence at my yard and the neighbor's yard, and I've known to have this terrible screaming like groundhog fights.
Are you sure it's not a possum or something else?
No, we got possums and coons too, and various cats visiting and stuff, but occasional dogs. But no, this is definitely were groundhogs. I heard this big scuffle, and I'm out there with a flashlight, and I know what a possum is, different coloration, and the tail, of course, is completely different.
Well, they taste much different.
I'm sure they do. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't eaten a possum or a groundhog that I'm aware of. I mean, you don't know what you're getting sometimes when you're
That's right.
when you're on the road, and
Could
you
be
get
school lunch, you know.
school lunches. Yeah, I wonder what that great mystery meat was.
Gophers are like liver crossed with dirt.
That's right. I'll take your word for it. Well, we should figure this out.
So that's my contribution. Maybe, as I said, viewers will have some thoughts on what kind of festival. We could have it right here. You could be a part of it.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Uptown
Gopher
Bill's
Fest.
Gopher Fest.
I had a job as a gopher once, and I
Did you?
drove around the car and picked things up and dropped things off.
I'm, went to the University of Minnesota, and I always wanted to be the gopher. But it's intended for a person who's about 5'2".
Oh, I see.
But one time, I was in the elevator, and the person next to me was holding the head. And I thought, I could take this.
You could mug that person because they're only like 5'2". You probably could have taken advantage of them easily.
I just take the head. I could put the head on, and get my own suit.
So you should have quit while he was ahead. Sorry about
But I didn't do it, and I regret it.
that. Yeah, 'cause
I was in the elevator, right there, right next to me, the head. I'm sure they have several heads, just like they have
Yeah.
several Herkies.
there are a lot of things I didn't do, and I've managed to avoid a criminal record, which is nice because occasionally when I work with children and stuff like that, I have to pass a background check, and I haven't had any trouble. Yeah,
Stealing a gopher head.
might get in there. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, that's my contribution for tonight. Thank you for having me on. Thanks for coming down. Thanks to the audience here and viewers at home for taking part in this. And we'll see you again here in April.
They're
But in
sitting
the
here on
meantime-
April 12th, and they also
yes. We should say something about that.
Well,
Should we?
yeah. You have that was it's Bill's birthday, isn't it?
Yes,
His birthday
Bill
party.
Sachter, who's behind us, the guy with the beard in the picture, would be 101 this year. And we're having an all-day party. And with that famous thing that all-day parties that Bill have, a different band and a different cake every hour. And one of those hours is you.
Well, not just me. It'll be me and the is it Tom's Guitar Studio or Tom's Guitar Show. I forget.
All Stars.
All Stars.
All Stars,
It's the All
yes.
Stars. The Tom's Guitar something All Stars.
Yeah,
TGS All Stars. There we go. We can't go wrong with that.
okay.
And it's interesting. We're working on that. We're working on a thing, but I don't know what's going to happen because a lot of people are going to be out of town and stuff. I don't know what. I thought that was a safe date, but they're not.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
But then, so we'll be here at 2,
Yes.
and we'll
Music
play.
starts at 10, goes till 9 p.m. at
Okay.
night, and
But we'll be here at 2 in the afternoon.
good.
On Saturday. It's a Saturday.
Yep.
And no excuse not to come down unless you're broken leg or have to work or something. And then at the end of the month, one more minute. Okay, well, at the end of the month, the last, it was the 29th, I believe, the last Tuesday of April, we're going to do a Tom's Guitar Show special. It's going to be all about classical guitar,
Ooh.
classical guitars,
Ooh.
and classical guitarists. So I want
Okay.
anybody who wants to play classical guitar, anybody who does play anybody who likes classical guitar to come down. We're
Great.
actually going to extend it an extra hour. I don't believe the second hour is going to be videoed.
1
I
hour
know.
live
You
and
can't like
1
that.
hour, what's his face used to do that. Garrison Keeler used to do that.
Yeah, we'll have a
Do a
party afterwards.
show, yeah, he'd do the show and then he'd have an extra hour, sometimes before or sometimes after for the studio audience, so.
Well, we're going to
So
do
you
that.
gotta
here.
be here for the second hour.
Yeah, I should be here for the second hour. That
All
might
right.
be interesting. There'll be some people who've never played in public before. And I gotta get this started.
All right.
Because they're good. So that's about it. Okay, well, bye everybody. I'll be back next week with the regular show. We're probably off, but don't anybody say anything off color anyway. Because, you never know. We might be on. The electronic's supposed to click off, but I'm not sure.